So today we're going to be learning about Python. Hello everyone, my name is Ian and I'm going to be giving you an introduction to Python. We're going to be learning about strings, integers and inputs. So before we start learning what Python is, what is Python? Now Python is one of the most famous coding languages in the world. Even NASA uses Python to command its rockets. It is a higher level advanced coding for AI, artificial intelligence and ML, which is machine learning. We use Python in statistics, object-oriented programs, etc. Now, Python was designed by Guido van Rossum, a Dutch programmer who created Python almost 30 years ago. Now, unlike HTML, Python has its own important file and library for coders to easily access the commands. Now, Python has its inbuilt functions which can be used for Python Turtle, which is a virtual canvas. And after Python, we move on to more advanced courses like AI and ML. So before we start coding Python, now there is a setup that you have to make. So first you can download VS Code or Visual Studio Code. If you don't have it, you can download it on Mac OS, which is highly recommended, or use online software if you wish. Now if you're using VS Code, then create a folder on desktop, then add that folder to VS Code to start coding. But if you're using a Windows, I recommend that you can use an online editor and just open a Python file, or you can use VS Code. Now after you finish this setup, you can start a new file and name blank.txt, which stands for text, and you can start copying notes of it and then you can code. So now we can start coding Python. Okay, so after you finished your setup, you imported your file into VS Code. Create a new file by clicking this button and create blank.txt. Now you can take a piece of sheet or a Word file and write down the notes. So let's start. So what are strings? Now strings are nothing but sentences that we write in Python. Now we use double quotes to write it. Now examples can be I love space science, and that's true. Now what are integers? I'm sure you have heard of them. So integers are whole numbers. They don't include decimal numbers. Now we don't need double quotes to write integers. Examples 1, 5, 13, 123, 12, etc. Now there is this one thing which are inputs. Now in Python, inputs are or is something that we take from the user. So we take values from the user and display it. For this action to be done, we need variables. Now, variables basically store certain amounts of data and you can change it at times. Alright, now we can start coding. So I want you to press on this button and I want you to create basics or anything you wanted and put .py extension. You need to put that, otherwise you won't be able to do Python. So the first command that we're going to learn is the print command. Now this print command basically writes down text or numbers. Now for the print, we can put double quotes if we are writing a string. This is where we put strings. Now let's just take a simple sentence. I love space science. Now to run it, we press this button. There you go. I love space science. So what we want to do is we want to add two strings. If we want to add two strings, what we do is that we create a variable. So what we'll do, we'll delete this and we'll create variables. Now variables will give names. I'll take sentence 1. Now it won't be like a variable because you have to set it, and this is where we'll take input. Now input is basically where you take something from the user. So input, enter text here. Now we can put another and put that as input, enter some other text here. Now after these values are done, we can print sen1 plus sen2. Let's see that. Enter text here. It'll ask you to enter text here. Hi. My name is Jobby. Hi, my name is Jobby. There you go. So this is how we add two strings. But what if we wanted to add a string and then add the variable? Now that is simple. We can remove this and then we can put double quotes, and here we can write hi and send2. So first click on this button to delete it, your inventory in your place, and now you can run the Python file. So you can enter your text here. I love space science. Oh yes, I forgot. You can't put plus, you put a comma. So don't put plus. Enter text here, space science. Oh yes, I was putting the wrong variable. Please don't forget to put the wrong variable. So now we can put the plus and we don't need this f. Now I'll tell you what the f is later. So put the correct variable and now you can enter your text here. Let's say space science is amazing. Hi, space science is amazing. So this is how we put commands. Now let's add an integer. Let's take number 1 and let's take the input from the user But for this we need to put the int. Now this is when we take an integer. So let's take input from the user and let's say enter a number. So now what we can do is that you have to put this F command. This is called formatting. This is to add an integer and a string. Because in Python, if we want to add an integer and a string, we need to use the formatting command. Otherwise, it won't work. So put the formatting command here and you can put hi. Your number is, now we don't put plus, we put comma. So for that, we'll put num1. So for that, what we have to do is we have to write num1 and there you go. So let's run and see. So I'll enter the number 23. Hi, your number is 23. But let's see if I enter text. It'll show an error because we put a integer. So it will only take the value for a number, not for text. But if I remove this and these brackets, and now if we run, we can write text here also and it does not show anything. So this is why we use the int command. Alright, so now since we know the basic code, let's create a command that will add and subtract numbers. So what we can do now is let's create two variables, num1. Let's take the, don't forget to put int, input from the user and double quotes, enter a random number. And we'll take another value as well. That's also an integer. Input, enter another number. Now after this we will print, don't forget to put the formatting command because we're adding a string and an integer. The add double quotes. The sum, which means the addition of the numbers you entered, is, put a comma, don't need to put space, and what we'll do now is we'll use the plus command. So we'll put num1, make sure that your letters are correct, num1 plus num2, and we'll also print the subtraction, or I should write the difference of the numbers you entered is, comma, num1 minus num2, and we'll put another comma here and we'll put double quotes, and also because we can do num2 minus num1, num2 minus num1. Alright, let's see that. So first delete your inventory, your Python file, and run it. So let's enter a random number. I'll enter 14 and I'll enter another number like let's say 2. So the sum of the number you entered is 16, that's correct. The difference of the numbers you entered is 12 and also minus 12 because 2 minus 14 and 14 minus 2. So it works. Now there is this one command which also can take multiplication and division. We can just put times and also division, which is a slash. So this is basic Python coding. So let's review the commands that we learned today. So the commands that we learned today. So the first command we learned is the print command, used to print text in the Python file. Ex print hello world. The next command we learned is the input, used to take values or inputs from the user. Example, input, enter your name. Then we learnt variables. To store data. Example, x is equal to, let's use the input command here, enter a number. And then we also learned the plus, the minus, the multiplication and the division symbols. These are the basic operators. And then also we have got the int command. This only allows the user to enter a number and not text. Example, int input, and let's put enter a number only. And there you go. And also we learned the F command, formatting command, to add a string and integer. And there you go. These are the commands that we learned for today. And I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.